Ben Sulayem has found himself under heavy criticism lately, and it's becoming more and more likely that his time as FIA president could be cut short. Over the last couple of years, and especially in recent months, his actions have raised serious concerns across the Formula One world. One question that's being asked again and again: why is Ben Sulayem still in charge? And if changes are coming, who would be the right person to take over? The frustration isn't just coming from behind closed doors. Top drivers like Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton have been openly speaking out against the FIA's current leadership. Hamilton didn't hold back, making it clear that he has never had respect for Sulayem, particularly after an investigation was launched against Susie Wolff without any proof of wrongdoing in her connection to Toto Wolff. That case was eventually dropped, but the damage had already been done. As for Max Verstappen, things have gone even further. He's been hit with penalties for using strong language, something that might now be reconsidered due to recent developments. There's talk that Appendix B, which covers penalties for foul or offensive language, is being reviewed. Reports suggest that Ben Sulayem knows his position is at risk, and that's why he wants this rule revised sooner rather than later. But the real question is, will this be enough to help him hold on to power? Verstappen didn't mince words when asked about the current climate in the sport. He said everything is so sensitive now that even sharing an honest opinion could land him in trouble. Reflecting on one particular race, Max said it went by so quickly he barely had time to think, let alone speak about it publicly, because if he did, it might cause problems. According to him, it's better to stay quiet since anything critical is no longer welcome. What's even worse for Ben Sulayem is that he hasn't managed to gain support from within the FIA either. In fact, quite the opposite has happened. Many who were once part of the organization and either left or were dismissed have now started speaking out. One of them is Tim Mayer, a former race director who openly criticized the way decisions were being made. He believes that Sulayem has been running things in a very one-sided manner, favoring his own viewpoint rather than listening to others. Mayer mentioned that if anyone disagreed with Sulayem, they were quickly shut down. He also pointed out that Sulayem had a clear stance on punishing drivers for swearing, and even took steps to make sure his opinion was enforced, not directly through the stewards, but through his own staff. Technically, using offensive language is against the rules, but Mayer questioned whether it's really worth chasing drivers over something so minor, especially in such a heated and emotional sport. There have been other moments where Ben Sulayem's leadership has come into question. One notable instance occurred during the 2023 Jeddah Grand Prix, when Fernando Alonso was given a 10-second penalty for working on his car while serving another penalty. However, the decision was later overturned, which allowed Alonso to keep his third-place finish. A whistleblower claimed that Ben Sulayem personally intervened to ensure the penalty was rescinded, leading to further scrutiny of his actions. While it's clear that swearing shouldn't become the focal point of Formula One, even figures like Toto Wolff have weighed in on the matter. Wolff admitted he doesn't support swearing in general, but argued that drivers pushing 300 km/h on the track might let a curse slip out, and it shouldn't be overblown. The real issue, according to him, is when drivers repeatedly use foul language in less stressful situations, like during press conferences. Tim Mayer, the former race director, believes Ben Sulayem failed to set clear boundaries when it came to penalties for swearing. Mayer argued that while it's understandable for drivers to be upset and express their frustration during high-pressure moments on the track, there should be a distinction between those circumstances and when drivers are more relaxed in a press conference setting. In situations like the one in Saudi Arabia, where Max Verstappen was penalized for his actions during a race, Mayer felt that the penalties didn't account for the context of the moment. Verstappen himself had pointed out that if you try to share your thoughts, it could end up getting you penalized, which only adds to the tension. The FIA, under Ben Sulayem's leadership, has come under fire for not handling such issues with the level of understanding that the sport demands. The departures from the FIA are starting to send a strong message about the direction the organization is heading. High-ranking figures like Robert Reid, the former vice president of the FIA, and David Richards, the former chairman of Motorsport, UK, both left under controversial circumstances. They were reportedly not allowed to attend a crucial meeting regarding important decisions like the two-stop rule for Monaco, all because they refused to sign a non-disclosure agreement. This lack of transparency has become a significant concern for many within the sport. George Russell, one of the more vocal drivers, highlighted the growing frustration with the FIA's approach, saying that the lack of positive news from the governing body has become all too familiar. The sport deserves stability, and it's clear that the current leadership is struggling to maintain that. Russell's comments reflect the overall sentiment within the paddock, a desire for more stability and collaboration. The relationship between the FIA and the drivers' union, GPDA, has been increasingly strained, and it seems that the organization is failing to bridge that gap. Ben Sulayem's remarks have only exacerbated the issue. For instance, when discussing Liberty Media's decision to reject a large offer from a Saudi Arabian fund, he publicly stated that Formula One's value had been overestimated. This was a significant blow to the potential for future investment in the sport. When leaders within the sport, such as the GPDA, FOM, and F1, are opposed to the FIA's decisions, it raises serious questions about the governance of the sport moving forward. As the situation continues to unfold, Ben Sulayem's position becomes more precarious. With the mounting criticism from drivers, teams, and former FIA officials, it's hard to see how he can maintain his leadership role. His stance that he doesn't care about the opinions of the drivers or teams has only further alienated him from the very people he needs to work with. The question remains, will Ben Sulayem be able to hold on to his position, or is it time for a change in leadership? Many believe that there are several qualified individuals who could take over, with figures like Susie Wolff, who has proven herself as a capable and professional presence in the sport, being a potential candidate. The debate over Ben Sulayem's future has only just begun, but one thing is clear: Formula One needs leadership that can unite the sport, not divide it.